Black Red deck.
I do. Man, Hellrider might as well be wearing cowboy boots. Emmett Clarkson is here playing Zombie Black Red, but he's got a little bit of Ash Zealot in him there. We've seen this actually before. I think it was in Baltimore there was a Zombies player playing Ash Zealot, something like that. One of the tournaments, and it was very peculiar, and here we're seeing it again. He's also got Vampire Nighthawks complementing his Ash Zealots, and Grouse Messengers, of course.
Okay.
So we've got, I would say, ambitious is an accurate term for the mana
That's
base.
the word.
That's the word we're going to use. Interestingly, Emmett is not running Pillar of Flame, which you would think is a really key burn spell to have in this metagame with so many other Zombies players. But he's got the full amount of Brimstone Volleys and Searing Spears, and maybe those Nighthawks are just working overtime for him in the Black-Red Mirrors.
Looking at Sean Thrasher's side over here, Emmett's going to be kind of beating himself up for not having pillars because he's actually playing against Nigh-Humans, a deck very similar to Ben Weinberg's deck, where he made the finals of the Star City Games Invitational in Los Angeles in December of last year. You're going to find your Avacyn's Pilgrim, Champion of the Parish, Mayor of Averbrook, 3 copies of Thalia, a couple Borderland Rangers, then you've got Silverblade Paladins, Huntmaster of the Fells, Restoration Angels, a couple copies of Zealous Conscripts in the main deck, and then his spells are just 4 Celestial Charms and 2 Rankers. So basically, it's basically a green-white human deck, but it's got a little splash of red, which is easy for it to do, for Huntmaster of the Fells and Zealous Conscripts. And then as far as some cool non-basics that he does have in the deck, there are 2 copies of Gavany Township and also 1 Keswick Wolf Run. So he has some ways to use his mana if he does flood out.
I think I generally have liked the Humans deck in this matchup.
Okay.
But also worth noting is that Emmett does not have access to Thundermaw Hellkite, which is like a big difference maker in the late game. It's
Sure.
kind of like harder to answer cards. So I think that I still like the Humans deck basically.
Sure. And the Humans deck for Sean is going to start off right away with an Avacyn's Pilgrim. Emmett on the left there for you guys is going to start off with a Diagraph Ghoul, but keep in mind that he has mulligan to 5, which doesn't come as a huge surprise to me when you're playing Ash Zealot and Dross Mask in the same deck. You might have some mana problems.
It might come up every now and again. He has started off strong with a 1-drop. The downside being that Sean's deck can actually make a Diagraph Ghoul pretty irrelevant pretty fast.
Yeah, with having even something as simple as a Borderland Ranger, but there's also Thalia, Guardian of Thraben, there's Huntmaster of the Fells, Silverblade Paladin pairing up with things. There's a lot of ways to make that card
even just like
quickly.
Mayor of Averbrook go. Yeah, like
you mean what he's about to do.
Man.
Yeah.
Doesn't even have to pass. Yeah, he can attack, and against a mulligan, I really like leaning on Mayor because it's going to be hard for your opponent to keep you from flipping a Mayor on 5 cards.
Definitely. We are going to see a second swamp here. Big follow-up is going to be Knight of Infamy. So Diagraph Ghoul is going to come across for 3 here because of the Exalted trigger. Going to knock Sean down to 17. Emmett's going to be at 18 life here. A pretty good start, all things considered, on a mulligan of 5.
We have managed to even up the race a little. However, with no red mana, Sean can go ahead and just try to flip that Mayor if he wants to. I doubt he will, though. He's got a bunch of cards. He just wants to start playing them because they're sweet.
Yeah, and force Emmett to have a card every turn instead of taking his own turn off. Force Emmett to actually play something every turn. Again, he is on a mulligan of 5. That's not going to be really easy for him to do. So,
Shock, aggressive. I like it.
I gotta do it.
I feel like you kind of have to play chicken with shock lands in this matchup, probably, right? Like you're just like, yeah, I'm taking it. This is my sweet card. I hope it's gooder than the 2 damage. Like,
yeah, that's basically what you do have to do. I mean, if it's a Huntmaster of the Fells, obviously it's great. But even something like Restoration Angel does a pretty admirable job of making up the difference. We're going to see Avacyn's Pilgrim come across again.
Does not offer the trade with the Mayor, so that's worth noting.
You do see a Restoration Angel over there in Sean's hand. Also see a Zealous Conscripts, and I think we have a Thalia here, but I'm not positive as we crane our necks. But we're just going to see a second Avacyn's Pilgrim.
And the Thalia, yep.
And a Thalia as well. And there that is. Okay, so very, very good start for Sean.
I like this line. I mean, you can't just like take the shock and then pass, right? That just makes the Restoration Angel really obvious.
Yeah.
Sean may have paused too long already, but we'll see.
As we do see Dross Messenger come into play. Cavern, of course, naming zombies to enable that. Gonna knock Sean down a couple points there.
It's a sweet curve for mulligan to
5. It's pretty good. It's pretty good. I mean,
if
here's hoping for Emmett that he doesn't draw Ash Zealot. How about that?
If you told every zombie player in this room that they could mulligan to 5 and have this hand, they'd probably consider taking you up on it a lot of the time.
If you say so. I wouldn't take you up on that. If I had to roll the 5, I would want this, but...
Well, he's got the 5th land, so he can do pretty much whatever he wants now.
Yeah. Attacks
I
with
think he wants
pilgrims
to
are
just
available
like
too.
pass, right? Like I mean, jam the attackers, but like play your land, attack with 2 pilgrims and not Thalia because of the knight, and then just pass, flip your guy, and have an angel.
Yeah, have an angel up, make attacking difficult. So you see step 1 of Glenn's plan. Diagraph Bull going to jump in front of a pilgrim. I think I'm okay with that trade.
Yeah. I don't think anyone's breaking the bank there, but
We're going to have a Plains in the second main phase, and just to pass back, and now Mayor's going to attempt to flip.
it's not slippery out there, so he makes it.
Mayor does make it into Halpak Alpha, a card that we'll bring on the screen for you guys so that you can take a look at the flip side of Mayor. We don't always get to the flip side of Mayor.
We don't.
Doesn't always make it there. Because I believe that's going to be a Vampire Nighthawk, the DCI edition.
Yep. Vampire Nighthawk is actually a little bit frustrating for Sean's board.
And in comes Dross Messenger with that Exalted trigger. Yeah, that's actually kind of a pain in the butt right now. As you guys do see Halpak Alpha on the screen right now. Not pumping the humans anymore, but threatening to make some wolf tokens, and it's pretty big on its own.
It'll take a little while for him to catch up against the Nighthawk as far as wolf tokens doing much, but if Sean can keep a little bit of damage on, maybe with the Zealous Conscripts, for example, he flips his Mayor back.
Yeah, so he's going to flip the Mayor back here. It's going to make Thalia into a
Sure.
3-2, and then it's going to be able to trade profitably with a Dross Messenger. Not even trade, actually just win the fight.
Yeah. That puts the Messenger on Undying. He did have to beat the Exalted there with the flip, so that's fine. I don't think he really broke especially far ahead there, but...
So now we're going to see a card drawn here. Is that a second Mayor?
I believe that is a second Mayor to go with his Zealous Conscripts.
We're going to slide the cards over here on the screen for you guys. The Cavern from Emmett, his second one is naming Vampire this go around.
I feel like I might just Conscripts the Nighthawk and like jam.
Just get in with
Is
all
that
the
like
boys.
too aggressive? I mean, not Thalia, obviously.
Sure.
But everything else, like, I wouldn't be heartbroken to trade a Mayor for that Knight of Infamy if I can persuade that Messenger to stop turning sideways, right? I mean,
Take a look at this here.
it will depend on whether he blocks. We'd be able to get in a fair bit. We'd go to 15. We'd knock him to a minimum of like 8-ish. Yeah, he's gonna Conscripts.
You a mind reader? Are you from the future? You're getting like everything right here. It is going to take the Nighthawk.
I like this swing. We're forcing through 5 for sure in the air. On the ground, the worst we can get in is 3, so that puts him down to pretty low. Oh, the Thalia too? Okay, I can actually get behind that, but if we swing with the Thalia, we should swing with the Mayor too. There's literally no reason not to.
It's all or none right now.
Yeah, I think
like.
all is fine. Actually, not, as soon as I thought about it, I was just like, oh man, this Thalia should be turning sideways too. Like, it doesn't matter if you give him the free kill.
Yeah.
He's taking so much damage.
And so we're going to see that damage come across here. Of course, Conscripts is a 4/4.
Wait, would that have been lethal?
This is 4,
He would have like
7,
had to
8,
block
9.
Conscripts, I think. 5, 6, 7, 8, 11. No, he would have been a little shy. All right.
So he does get his damage through. Gains a little bit of life, not something to ignore. And he does add a 4/4 in Conscripts to the table. Now, if he does draw Restoration Angel, it kind of puts his deck on steroids a little bit too.
Yeah.
But he also has that Mayor of Averbrook hiding in his hand, we believe, which will make the attacks next turn even that much better. So I think I like that turn. Get the Zealous Conscripts part of the game out of the way.
Yeah.
Because now this persuades Emmett to actually play defense, which is what Sean wants to happen.
Yeah, I think we've needed to attack with the other guys just to get that Nighthawk so it's not like actual brick walling the team. This is
a good situation if that's coming across for Sean.
Yeah, whoa.
And I think Emmett's going to think
Calm
a
down,
little
cowboy.
bit. Emmett's going to think a little bit longer about that one. I know they like to attack in Texas, but there's a time and a place. I don't think it's right now.
I also really like being aggressive in Sean's position because you know your opponent just doesn't have red mana, right? Like, their primary way to interrupt what your deck's trying to do is a burn spell to remove a key creature, like a Mayor mid-combat or something.
Yeah.
So as long as he doesn't have that red mana, you just kind of want to keep the heat up, like, make him find it faster.
So
Messenger
now
swings.
we're going to see a 5/4 Dross Messenger come across here, and I think if I'm Sean, I think I'm happy to take this.
I think I'd be okay with it.
again, and the reason I think I'm happy to take this again is just the point you brought up. There is no red mana, so there's not a ton to fear here. Another Nighthawk would be an annoyance. I think that's about all it would be, though.
I mean, I guess that second cavern is on Vampire, I assume, right? Isn't it?
It is on Vampire, yes.
Okay, so I guess he has to fear Falcon Wrath the Riskrat. He knows, based on this turn so far, Emmett doesn't have one. But, like, drawing one next turn, for example, could be really devastating. I can't imagine there's like, oh, we've got red. We're down to 3, though.
We have red in a painful way.
This probably is pretty good, then. I smell a Searing Spear. Brimstone Volley. That costs 1 more for Thalia, but yeah, since he has no hand, I guess it's not going to be that big a deal.
That is going to cost 1 more, and it's not going to kill Zealous Conscripts either, because of Mare.
That's a good point. Did he dome? What did he do with it? Did he target Zealous Conscripts?
Yeah, he went to go remove Zealous Conscripts, and then he put it back because it doesn't kill it.
Yeah, that's awkward.
But yeah, we're gonna. That's the last card in Emmett's hand. It is gonna cost him 1 more mana, and we're gonna see a Mare in a concession. So Sean gonna be up a game here. Bit of an error there by Emmett, thinking the Conscripts is a 3/3. And I mean, you can see why he'd want to kill it right away just because of Restoration Angel, the fear of that. But again, I think that he needs to maybe slow down a little bit in that game. Again, I still think it was the right time to keep trying to press his advantage.
Amusingly, also, if he passes turn with the volley, that Mayor will flip and stop pumping the humans, which might actually cut out some of the damage, depending on how he's planning to chump attack. Like, with a Pilgrim, Thalia, and a Conscripts in play, how to deal with a Howlpack Alpha doesn't sound so bad.
Yeah, it really doesn't. Now, I know that you have Emmett's deck list in front of you.
I do.
Our black-red deck here, capital B, capital R.
Capital B, capital R.
That's how black and how red it is.
Brag, bro.
What can he do to help himself?
Well, he's actually got some pretty interesting cards for the matchup. We noted he doesn't have Pillar of Flame in his 75 already, but he does have the full amount of Tragic Slips and the full amount of Electrickeries. Electrickery is a dirty, dirty card against the Mayor of Aberbrook deck.
Pilgrim, Champion of the Parish on turn 1, of course. Mayor of Aberbrook, Thalia, Guardian of Thraben. Yeah, those are some targets.
I think Emmett might have played this matchup before.
yeah, those are some targets, my friend.
That's a 4 Electrickery and 4 Tragic Slip. Together, actually, like, pretty nice, because being able to turn on Morbid on your opponent's turn has classically been a little difficult for the zombie deck.
Yeah.
Electrickery is going to go a long way in that role. It also makes, obviously, the Werewolves significantly worse, just having more instants in the deck.
Sure.
I think I'd prefer to have Pillars to deal with Huntmasters, just because that guy needs to be dead. But definitely, I don't think Sean's going to see these Electrickeries coming, basically.
Yeah, I can't imagine he's going to play around those. He'll play around Tragic Slip to a certain extent, but we could see a blowout of Electrickery in one of these sideboarding games, almost certainly. Looking at Sean's side of things really quickly, 2 Pithing Needles, can't imagine they're going to join us. 2 Rest in Peace, 2 Nevermore, 2 Oblivion Ring, maybe Oblivion Ring, probably not. 2 Bonfire of the Damned, potentially. A Dryad Arbor, 2 copies of Thragtusk, 2 copies of Sigarda, Host of Herons. I think Thragtusk is almost certainly going to be coming in. I think maybe we'll see at least 1 Sigarda and maybe those Bonfires. But other than that, I mean, Celestial Charm isn't really at its best here. So maybe he has 4 copies main deck. Maybe those go. Other than that, though, I think it's pretty cut and dry.
I think I wouldn't board in the Bonfires if I'm Sean, mostly because my Thalias are pretty good workhorses as far as just being on the ground.
Okay.
And, until I see all these slips and Electrickeries, I'm feeling pretty good about Thalia most of the time. So the Bonfires are going to be a little tough to cast with Thalia around. That's always been a card that just kind of clashes.
Yeah, they don't work well together.
No,
they're not friends.
No. They're not friends. Cautious allies, I think, is probably the best way to describe Bonfire and Thalia.
Yeah, I mean, the 2 Thragtusks are going to be a lock.
Yes,
those are definitely
100% the Thragtusk. I like the idea of bringing in a Sigarda. Yeah. It's just huge, gets in the way. It's a little frustrating when you see Game 1 Nighthawks. Sure. You're obviously not that excited about having a Trump flyer when they can play, their dinky little flyer and just make yours irrelevant.
But other than that, I mean, we might even see those Oblivion Rings again because he did see Nighthawk.
Yeah, I think that's an incentive.
Kind of a reason to bring it in. Oblivion Ring, classically not a very good card against zombies. Its curve is low. The things that you're targeting aren't really worth the mana that you're investing in most cases. But Nighthawk is a card that Humans does have a bit of an issue with. And I could definitely see, those 2 copies coming in. Just be able to take care of Nighthawk.
That's a pretty close game from the Mold of 5, like competitive throughout. So I guess we'll We'll see what he can do on maybe a larger hand. It doesn't look like he's going to be
That
doing
is
it on
not a
7. That's
sign
not
of
the look of a
confidence.
man who keeps 7 cards.
No. That was a deep sigh. Sitting back. This is bluffing.
Yeah, unless that was just a really resigned keep.
Reaching.
What is...
Does he have us fooled?
Maybe he does. I think... Yeah,
All right.
He kept there.
Maybe Rakdos Guildgate is what put him over the edge. It's done it to me many a time.
Guildgate.
Yeah, it's done it to me.
To be
I
fair,
can't
if
take
I'm
it.
Emmett, I think I'm pretty excited to open with Guildgates. Gotta cast all these spells, man.
Teach their own, man. I can't stand it. But we're going to see a Rakdos. We're going to see a mountain.
Ash Zealot, one time. That's the one mountain in the deck.
No! All right, it's just going to be a diagraph goal.
That was a Guildgate hand. You had the read. Interesting. I think I saw a Knight of Infamy there. He opened with the diagraph instead.
That is a little surprising.
That might be the right
correct.
sequence here. I mean, like maybe you're expecting your opponent to Thalia on the next turn, and you'd rather be playing a Knight of Infamy into Thalia as opposed to attacking with Knight of Infamy and playing Diagraph Pool.
Sure.
I'm not experienced enough with zombies to know how often that kind of a situation comes up.
As we do see an attack there for 1 with the Avacyn's Pilgrim, Selesnya Charm in Sean's hand. I think maybe he wants to make this trade. Yeah. Looks like he's going to want to.
It seems likely that Emmett is a little light on lands. Oh, he's slipping to get through? Okay.
So he's going to slip the token after it blocks, making it a 1/1. And I think your thought of Emmett being seriously from the future, you are, as Emmett does not have a 3rd land.
Well, he opened with Guildgate and then had a 1-drop on 2, but his land was Mountain. So, like, what are his holdings, you know? Like, every land in his deck is better to play before these two in this order, right?
Yeah. As you do see Sean play a Mountain and he does just pass. This smells like a Restoration Angel to me. And
your nose is on spot. Right
I am
there.
not sick in Dallas this time, thank God. So we have Restoration Angel here. It's going to eat that Diagraph Pool. Looks like Tragic Slip is going to finish this off, but I think this is a trade that Sean is happy to make every time.
Yeah, this game is definitely just not what Emmett's hoping to open on. I think maybe we should have thrown this hand away. I'm not sure. Depends on what else we've got, but it does not look exciting thus far.
So we're going to see a Temple Garden come into play untapped here for Sean. Going to knock him down to 18.
He has a Gavany Township, so I guess we're Sigarding or something? No, he could have cast that, right? I think she's white-white. I don't know. It's just a bunch of spells? A Bakoodle?
I like to think we have a follow-up here. We have no follow-up.
We have nothing? What are we... we have a Selesnya Charm that we wanted to hold open. That seems a little light.
I don't know if that's worth 2 damage.
Yeah. I mean, when we're this far ahead, maybe it is. I feel like I would have rather... I don't know. Yeah. It's close.
Yeah, I mean, hell-bent on making a 2/2. You're going to see a 2/2.
We do have
Knight.
Township, and our opponent's probably not expecting it. So I guess our play next turn is just like Township Jam, and that's reasonable. Like
Yeah. Get in with all the guys.
putting in 7 damage, put him on a clock.
We do see Cavern of Souls here from Emmett. We'll see what that's naming right now. I would predict Zombie so he can actually get to Messenger range.
He does have Hellrider in his hand, I believe, so he might have named the old devil.
Okay. Ah! It's Zombie.
Zombie.
I'm not right off him, but when I am.
Oh, he has double red already. I'm just dumb. I'm not really used to seeing a mountain in play underneath the Rakdos Guildgate, I guess. I'm curious as to whether Sean will activate his Gavany Township this turn, or whether he's going to hold the Restoration Angel and plan to boost at the end step. I think losing the Knight might mean he passes and only gets in 2.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's reasonable.
Volley does take care of the Knight token, and it does look like Sean is going to pass here. And if Sean's passing, if you're Emmett, you can only think of one thing, and it's not something you're very happy about.
It makes Hellrider significantly worse. I imagine that has to be on either Zombie or Vampire. I guess there's actually reasonable grounds for both. This is a Zombie, though, probably.
Yep. It's going to be Zombie for Geralt's Messenger. Going to knock Sean down to 16. We're going to see that end step Restoration Angel, and as fast as the deck of zombies can be, it's going to be pretty hard to race a Gavany Township right now.
Yeah.
And heaven forbid he draws any of those Huntmasters or those 2 Thractus in his sideboard.
We got the Champion of the Parish.
Does
All
that
right, we'll
fit
take
in?
a Champion. Yeah, we can drop another Township and then champ up.
Everything works perfect.
There's more than one way to put counters on a Champion of the Parish.
Yes. How many different ways are there to eat a Reese's?
That's a lot of damage. That's going to put Emmett down to 8, taking 8. So.
And Champion will move up to a 2/2 as well. We're looking at a 1-turn clock right now. Lethal attack next turn.
Through 1 blocker, he'll need a second one or a removal spell.
See, Emmett considering his options here. Again, he does have that Hell Rider in his hand. I'm assuming there's at least 1 removal spell, something in his hand. But again, it's going to be pretty tough for him to fight through this 4/5 and honestly fight through Township activations every turn, as he does just pass the turn back.
I guess his plan is block burn spell in response to Township. That's like the only thing that leaves him alive.
Thragtusk. The draw.
Magic's hard. It's really difficult.
You know you're in a good spot when you draw Thragtusk, acknowledge you draw Thragtusk, and you're just like, whatever.
I might cast this turn.
Yeah.
We'll see. We'll see how things go. Is he going to try and kill his opponent? I don't know if I mean, his opponent's already dead, right? Like, we should just let him do his thing.
This is an attack for... Yeah, this is...
Yeah, that was an attack for lethal. We had no reason to pump before he plays a spell.
Yeah. Brimstone Volley here, going to take care of that.
Lose that Pilgrim.
Actually, he's still dead, right?
No, he's going to 1, right?
Yeah, he takes 5.
5. Oh, you're right.
Yeah, 5.
Nope.
Yeah, I actually missed it too. Yeah, so Township activation, this is 5 and 3. Yeah, and that's 8 damage.
No
so.
third slip.
Yeah.
That was the only real out there.
Okay.
So Sean Thrasher wins 2-0 against Emmett Clarkson in his Black-Red aggro deck with Nigh Humans, which I think you would consider to be a pretty good matchup for Nigh Humans.
Yeah, I think you like it fine. It gets a lot easier when your opponent stumbles on mana. Amusingly, an edge that the Black-Red deck often exploits against its enemies.
Yeah.
Real good at jumping on people when they miss, but Emmett's list is ambitious. It's real tough to cobble together all those spells. It can be tricky, especially when you've got those hands with Ash Zealot, Vampire Nighthawk, like Drops Messenger. Those are the ones where you're like, now it's kind of coming back to bite me.
Sure. Yeah, it can only work for so long. Your mana problems, with having that kind of mana in your deck, it will catch up with you eventually. If your deck is all dual lands, that's one thing, but there are, there is 1 mountain, there are 5 swamps here. You have to play Rakdos Gilgit to make it work, which means, some of your cards are going to come on time. So, it's not going to always work, but when it does work, it does look pretty impressive. That's for sure, as Ash Zealot is probably the best 2-drop for an aggressive deck in the format.
It's a sweet card. I mean, that guy's making it in Modern every now and again.
Yeah.
He is not unheard of in that format.
You do see Emmett reveal that trickeries that he did sideboard in. He put those face ups saying, I could have got you.
I could have got you good.
You're lucky I didn't get you.
All right, we're switching over to the other match in progress.
Looks like we got some Naya on one side and looks like Black Red Loaded Zombies on the other potentially.
That's a very strange matchup. We haven't had that in a while.
Yeah, this is weird. This is different. A lot of fun too. So we'll get those